hat. Um, I've watched some of your YouTube videos. I'm a big fan.
So you're a flat earther. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying I'm a flat earther.
What are you saying? You're a globe earther?
I'm saying that I am open to discussion, and
we're gonna close that discussion today. But go ahead.
All right, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The way I usually do my show is I just basically shut up and let the guests talk.
The way I like to do it is you ask me questions because I don't understand why somebody thinks the Earth is a globe, so they have to tell me. It's not going to be easy. My job's going to be easy. Your job's going to be very hard because I'm going to be asking you about things that are impossible to explain, and I'm just going to explain things how we see them, how we sense them, how they are. Very simple.
Okay. All right. Well, I understand, how conditioning works, and I from birth, you're taught that the Earth's round now. I get that. And I could get how that could be wrong. And I have a very primitive mind sometimes. You can tell I'm not good with technology even.
But before you go any further, everybody discounts the ability of their mind. That's the psyop. They've got us convinced that, I don't have a degree. I'm not wearing a lab coat. I don't have a bow tie. I didn't take astronomy. The people that are the most educated are the most ignorant. Now, there are things, people that are making computer chips. They're amazing. It's amazing. Doctors that fix broken bones and replace hearts. Amazing, amazing. But all the other stuff is literally, not all of it, but there's plenty that it's all nonsense. So you are way smarter than you think you are. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, I hope you're right. But, so I understand that I could be led to believe something that's not entirely true. I get that. I have a hard time. I got a globe sitting here on my desk right now.
Can you turn it upside down and tell me if there's a sticker on the bottom?
Well, there's not.
If there's no sticker on the bottom, are you sure? On the base, a sticker.
On the base?
On the base of the globe, on the very bottom. You have to turn the globe upside down to see it. Is there a sticker down there? Because a lot of times the sticker comes off. So on the bottom there, is there a sticker?
No sticker.
All right. So it's old. It comes with a sticker that says not for educational purposes, for decorative purposes only. All globes. Next time you're in a store, you see a globe, turn it upside down, look at the sticker. It's there.
Okay.
Because they don't want to be sued for someone to go, I tried to go from South America to Africa. I got lost at sea. 2 of my children fell over. I had to eat them. I was starving because I couldn't catch any fish. And then they're under a lawsuit because the globe is wrong. Sorry about the visualization of eating your children, but you get hungry out there.
All right.
Go ahead.
So I know we got 1 hour.
Yeah.
And I want to be convinced that the Earth is flat.
I'll do my best.
I want you to convince me of that. And I do have questions about, if we're on this axis and we're spinning around so fast, why we don't feel it.
Yeah.
Why we look like we're slapped on the side of a ball instead of, standing up vertically, on these globes. It looks like everything's just labels on the outside of a ball instead of something. It just don't make sense to me. But that's where I question the globe Earth. Flat Earth, what's the edge? Why do we not just slide off the end of the Earth or just basic stuff?
All right, let's start with those questions right there, and then we'll come back to you for more. So what state are you in?
West Virginia.
You're in West Virginia. I'm in Connecticut. We're not too far apart, so we should only be tilted a little bit from each other. Like we both stood up. You should be going that way. I should be going that way, but not too much. We probably wouldn't even notice it. Okay, if we're on a spinning globe. Imagine Kansas, pretty flat. Have you ever driven through Kansas? It is flat.
I have, yeah.
Okay, so imagine there's a big lake in Kansas that's 50 miles across. It's very small in relative to the size of Kansas, but it's a lake, a circular lake, 50 miles across, right? You can't even see from one end to the other just because of optics and angular resolution. And let's say there's a bunch of islands in that lake. Those are continents. And the center of the lake, the very center, there's a big magnetic pole. And if you hold your compass, the compass points to that pole. Okay, it's magnetic, right? So you could sail around that lake, east or west. East and west are circles around that center, because as you try to go straight, your compass goes, no, you got to keep bearing left, or bear if you're going east, or you got to keep bearing right if you're going west, because I have to keep pointing towards the center. So you think you're going in a straight line, but you're actually turning to maintain a heading of 270 or 90, right? Here's our magnetic center.
Awesome.
So we're on the lake, and I'm trying to push this west, but I have to keep turning it, because west is this way. West follows these circular lines. This does not prove the earth is flat. Same on a globe. Flat or globe, it would work the same way. East and west are circles. East and west are not straight lines. If you're going in a straight line from anywhere to anywhere, there's only an instant in time where you're heading west or east. The other times you're either heading northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast, or south. Okay. But see, I'm trying to go straight, and without correcting, bam, I'm heading south. The compass should be pointing to the center here, and that's south. Every straight line is south. It's amazing, right?
It is.
And once you understand that, go ahead.
Is that because of the spinning of the earth?
No. Whether we're spinning or not, flat or globe, the magnetic center is at the north. The north is at the North Pole on the ball, which is ridiculous, or it's at the center of the flat earth pond right here.
Okay. Compasses
will always point to the center. See, I'm heading north. As soon as I pass north, look, I'm heading south. The compass did a 180. Now I'm heading south, and I won't come back. If I keep going, I keep going. Here I'm going west. I'm turning. Okay. Get a compass, get a big magnet, draw a circular map, and play with it. You'll see east and west are circles. That's no conspiracy. That's no globers even. Well, most of them won't even address it, because in the end, it proves that the earth is flat. So what happens, remember, on this 50-mile lake, if you decide not to correct to the east or north? Because if you go to east or west, sorry, not east or north, east or west. If you go east or west, you're just going to make circles around the lake. Circles, circles, circles. If you're close enough, far enough from the end, like say 20 miles, you want to be able to see the land. It'll look like an ocean, right? You'll just be going in circles, and you'll be like, I'm going straight forever and ever and ever. How did I end up back where I am? I must be on a ball. You'd be like, wow, I'm on a ball. The lake must be a ball. That's the same logic. Like if you're out in the middle of the lake, or right here, okay, 25 miles to the end and 25 miles to the middle, you can't really see 25 miles, because angular resolution and perspective just slam the sky into the horizon, and you would feel like you're in the middle of the ocean. So you're dead reckoning on this lake east. You're going to come right back to where you started from, and you're never going to see the edge of the lake. So you can conclude that the lake is a ball. Ridiculous, right? If you went straight, you're going to end up where? At the shoreline of the lake.
Right.
Can you fall off that lake?
You'd hit ground.
You hit the shoreline. Okay. Right. What is holding the water in the lake? Large bodies of water at rest lay flat. They need a container. If you had a bucket of water and you didn't have a bucket, what's going to happen to the water?
Right. It's going to spill out. Right.
It's going to go out. If you had a bathtub and the bathtub was gone, what happens to the water?
Right. It falls out.
If you had the edge of a pond, the edge of a puddle, a pond, a lake, just different sizes, same thing. What constitutes the edge where the land is higher than the surface of the water?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
This is easy. Right. So if you walk to the edge of that puddle, pond, lake in Kansas, do you fall off? No, you don't fall off. So here's our world pond. Here are all of our islands. They're surrounded by water. All of this water is testably, measurably, scientifically, provably flat. And then when we get to the edge of the lake, this land is higher than the lake all the way around. Do you know what the highest land on Earth is? What's the highest continent on Earth? Antarctica.
Okay.
They want you to believe that this ball at the bottom of the spinning ball, this continent that nobody can explore. No one's allowed to go there. You're not allowed to fly over it. They lie about expeditions across it. is the highest land on Earth. And if this continent melts, all of the oceans will rise. What if all of the ice melted off of this continent? Do you think the water would raise an inch?
Probably not much.
It's because it's small. We know the Earth is huge, and this is just 12,000 miles around. It's nothing. Okay.
Right.
But this is the way the world really is. The shoreline of our world is Antarctica. It is the container of the world pond.
Okay. Now let me ask you. We're in a pond. So
Yeah.
What lies beyond Antarctica?
See this pink line? This is 60 degrees south. The Antarctic Treaty says nobody is allowed. Antarctic Treaty, 1959. Admiral Byrd in the 40s and 50s flew out over Antarctica and said, there's land bigger than the United States beyond the poles. That's a problem on a ball. Okay. That's bigger than the United States, filled with resources that no human has ever set eyes upon. We're in wars across the world, around the globe, fighting for resources. All of a sudden, we find unclaimed land filled with resources that we wouldn't have to disturb any population to go get those resources. And they immediately come up with the Antarctic Treaty. Okay. And all the countries have signed on since then. And nobody is allowed to independently explore there. And it is guarded well with islands that go all around the circumference. The crown, remember the Falkland Wars? Well, that was to get control of that island that has access to Antarctica. All of these little islands, some of them that you've never even heard of. Okay. So what is beyond Antarctica? That's a great question. Well, at 60 degrees south, you can't even see Antarctica. Okay. Maybe here you can see this peninsula. This is where you can spend, $10, $20, $50,000 to go for a couple of days on a ship. And they'll show you some icebergs and some penguins. And they'll tell you how important it is not to disturb the migratory path of the penguins. So we can't even fly an airplane over Antarctica. Right. And then maybe they'll bring you 10, 20 miles out here and show you a ceremonial South Pole, because it's not the South Pole. And you can't verify where you are because compasses don't work and GPS doesn't work. They'll just tell you. And then they kick you out. That's it. Nobody is allowed to go out here to the outer space. Well, here's a Japanese map from 10 centuries ago that shows a shit ton of other continents out there.
Wow.
Okay. What if it was set up like this, where this is Antarctica, and there are a couple openings and you can get out to the extra territory, extra terra. If you lived on this extra terra, and this is the inner space where I live, and you lived out here, you might be an extraterrestrial from outer space.
Okay. So that would
inner space, outer space. This is the worlds beyond our worlds.
I've never seen this before.
Maybe it's even worse. Maybe there's ring after ring after ring. Maybe there's other puddles out there. Maybe we are the only ones and there is no other puddle. It's just us. We don't know because it's off limits. Nobody is allowed to go there. Okay. Antarctica is the biggest kept secret ever. All treaties throughout all history, real history and fake history, have all been broken, except the Antarctic Treaty. It's been in place since 1959. It goes until the year 2041. And in the treaty, this is bizarre. It says no one's even allowed to question the treaty. All right. So that's like me writing a bill saying, you have to give me all your audio equipment. And that's the law. And you can't ask me why. Okay. Right. I mean, it's the dumbest thing ever. Right. And no corporation has tried to petition them. Some people have gotten permission from their small countries to go. They go on a ship. Before they even get there, they're intercepted by U.S. military or UN military ships, threatened to be sunk, turned around, sent home. And when they get home, they get put in jail. Now, they're serious about not letting anybody explore Antarctica.
And nobody bucks up against this because what?
They've tried, because you end up in jail. Here's the thing. Now you can spend the next 2 years doing research on it, and you're gonna find all sorts of stuff. It's gonna be really confusing. But one of our flat Earth researchers, who's a lawyer, he did the time. He put in, I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours he must have put in, and he made a video called "Sorry, Antarctica is Closed." It's a 30-minute video. It is literally the best documentary on the Antarctic Treaty. And it shows you, if you want to go to Antarctica and you have the resources and the skill and the fortitude, you can start applying for permits. It'll take you about a year. It'll cost you from a couple $100,000 to a couple of $1 million in permits.
Yeah.
Then you will be denied and they keep the money. You can't go to Antarctica and independently explore it. Now, the Globers will go, oh, yeah, you can. They can't guard the whole thing. Well, yeah, they can guard the whole thing. And I'll show you how in a little bit when I'm sharing my screen. You can't go. And even if they let you go, what you're going to need some massive equipment and fuel. There's no refueling. There's no navigation. How are you going to navigate out there? How it gets dark. Most of the year, it's dark out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Cold, dark, no fuel, no McDonald's, no nothing. Okay. No animals, no trees, nothing. Well, at least that's what they tell us, at least the first part of Antarctica. There could be tropical worlds out there. I don't know.
And I see in this, in your background here, you have the sun hitting just the edge of Antarctica. Is that why it's dark out there and we don't?
Well,
I'll be able to see too.
I'll show you how the sun moves in a little bit when I share my screen. But it changes. The amount of light in Antarctica changes throughout the year. So wherever the sun is, so the sun is out close to Antarctica and the light is wrapping all the way around. So sometimes Antarctica will have these long extended periods of light, not sunlight, daylight. But as the sun starts migrating inwards, or wait, what month does it say? I can't see, it's very small. But the sun will migrate in, and then the light pattern will change. This is why here in I'm pointing at Alaska, when the sun is in close, it's always close enough to Alaska and Norway where it would never set. It just circles around you. When you're in the Arctic, what's the sun doing? It's arcing around you, right? If I'm here, the sun's arcing around me all year long, right? Sometimes it's far away, sometimes it's close. If I'm out here, this is Antarctica, everything outside the circle, the sun's antarcing. It's not arcing around me, it's antarcing. Okay? So I'll show you a little clearer on another illustration. But here's an example. This is timeanddate.com, and this is the sun moving from January to July. So this is December, and then it goes all the way up to June, the solstices. And this is me just moving a light outside of a dome, and it's kind of making the same light patterns.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yes, it is. Now, let me just ask this real quick too. If I'm recording this, will I be able to show this on YouTube, or will everything I'm looking at right now be something to get me kicked off of YouTube?
No, we're not going to talk about the stupidness, the insanity that's going on in the world. This is 100% allowed on YouTube. Okay. They won't promote it, but you can post it anywhere. They used to promote it. That's how I became a flat earther. I watched a flat earth video and YouTube goes, hey, you might want to watch this one too. I'm like, okay, I'll watch that. I'm like, whoa, I'm like, get the heck out of here. And that's how I became a flat earther. So, yeah, we'll get in it. This is all YouTube friendly.
Good.
YouTube friendly.
Because people are going to have to look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Outside of the podcast, I might have a few thousand downloads from the podcast to listen to.
Just put a link to the audio, because it's this stuff. I do plenty of radio shows, and it's good, but you really need the visuals, because we have been so brainwashed to where people can't see. People can't see, and you really need visuals to help bring it out.
All right. Now, you want me to ask some questions? I got just a couple. Because this is going good. And like I told you before, I've listened to what you've done, these debates and stuff on Tinfoil Hat. I was so glad to get the email, because I wanted you on the show. I thought you were untouchable. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be able to get a hold
You know,
of it.
I don't mind doing small shows because it's new people. You know, there's plenty of flat earth shows I can go on where I could preach to the choir. I can get thousands of flat earthers listening, and that's great. And we all educate each other, and that's important stuff to do. But if I can go on a show and reach 10, 20, 500, 5,000 new people, I'm in.
Good deal, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Okay, my questions. Why?
Why the lie? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just guessing.
I know people have circumnavigated the world, right? We've flown all the way around the world.
Yeah.
Nobody has went. You're ahead of me. Nobody has went north to south. Why not?
No, well, so north south. So think about this: on a flat Earth, you can go. I'm here in America. I can go north.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going south.
Right.
Okay, that's not circumnavigation. I just went north and south. Every straight line is south. That's south. If I start at the north, any line is immediately south. If I start in Santiago, I'm kind of heading northwest. Right here, I'm heading west, and now I'm heading southwest, and now I'm heading south.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but nobody has gone south and magically appeared back here.
Right.
Nobody ever. Now, some people have claimed to do it. We watched a few years ago. There was a guy called himself the ZQ pilot. And he was going for the world record of north-south circumnavigation, and you could track him. So this is his path. You know, here's the North Pole here. He went over to Alaska, to California, out to these islands over here to Santiago. And then he went to Antarctica. And he said when he got to the South Pole, the weather was too bad and he had to turn around. So he turned around and we're like, oh, well, it's not going to get the world record. Goes up to Brazil, New York, or wherever. And boom. Guinness Book gave him the world record for southern circumnavigation. First person to ever southerly circumnavigate. Does that look like circumnavigation?
Not even.
This is what it looks like on a flat Earth map. He just went boom, boom. He went around the pond. He went over to the goalpost, touched it. That's like me saying my straight street is a circle. Let me prove it to you. I'm going to go to the end. I'm going to touch the telephone pole at the end of the street. And then I'm going to turn around and go to the other end. I'm going to look, it's a circle. Same stupid thing. Okay. This is all he did. Okay. And the fact that he got the world record for the first person to southerly circumnavigate tells you something. Yeah. Everything's controlled. Everything is a lie. And it's right there in front of us. They gave us this information. Many people will go, what about the ZQ pilot? He circumnavigated, so you lose. Did you ever look at it? Did you ever look at what Colin O'Brady said? Colin O'Brady, guy that said he went across Antarctica. His path, and again, the information they gave us, I don't even think he did this, but he went from here over to here, and then he went over to here, and then I think he went over to Africa or something like that. Something stupid where he didn't go south and pop up over here on the other side of the world. Nobody's ever done that. And if you look at airplane routes, going from Santiago to Australia, you would think that this is the best route. Zip, or just don't disturb the penguins, go around, right? But this is the way they go. They go all the way up here. And to go to Western Australia, check this out. Ready? Remember this path.
Okay.
Santiago, all the way up to the United States, across the United States, all the way over to the Far East, all the way down to Singapore and to Australia. That's the route that they take. Why do they do that? Why don't they just cut across the bottom of the ball? Right? And the reason is, remember that route. Santiago, all the way up, United States, Far East, Singapore, Western Australia. Airplanes fly straight and level over the Earth plane.
Right.
They don't fly upside down over a spinning ball in a space vacuum. It's pretty stupid.
You know, I don't have an explanation for it.
You do have an explanation for it. The Earth is flat. You've been lied to. You're having a hard time letting go of your ball. Use your adult brain. Let go of the childish clinging to the ball. Don't take my ball away. Okay. We've all been there. We've all been there. All right.
But a flat Earth model won't look as good on my desk, Dave.
Yes, it will. The flat Earth models are amazing. Go look up Chris Pontius, I think it's Flat Earth Models or something like that. He makes these amazing flat Earth models. Amazing.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not ready to replace my globe yet because I got a few more questions.
Go ahead. Bring it.
If the Earth is flat,
yeah,
are we in outer space? If you leave Earth and you look down, where would the sun be? Like does it rotate around the flat Earth, or are we rotating around the sun with the other?
Didn't we already look at that?
Or...
So here's the Earth. There's some, I believe, now again, anything above where we can reach or beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is speculation. I believe there's some sort of encasement, some sort of dome, firmament. Okay.
Firmament. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they call the firmament. And every ancient culture, every ancient religion spoke about the firmament. And you look at the first page of the Bible, God separated the waters from the waters and created the firmament. And Werner von Braun, the head of NASA, his gravestone talks about the firmament. Why is the rocket scientist that started NASA talking about the firmament on his gravestone? Every religion except the religion of NASA talks about an enclosed Earth. Okay. So when you look at it, what's that?
Is that like the ozone layer? Is that
they call it the ionosphere? No, they call it the Van Allen radiation belt. There's a hard, fast barrier that we can't get through. No one's ever gone to outer space because outer space doesn't exist. Okay. There is no vacuum of space. It defies every law of thermodynamics. You can't have a vacuum next to a high pressure system without sucking all of the air right off the Earth. And you go, oh, gravity's holding onto the Earth. Gravity's holding onto the air, but I'm down low on the Earth where the gravity must be the strongest. I can take a straw and suck air and water up and away with the weak, low pressure of my mouth and lungs, where the incredible vacuum of space can't just suck all of the air off. Baloney.
Okay.
Nonsense.
Since you mentioned gravity,
go ahead.
Like I said, I'm not, I got a bachelor's in, counseling. I don't have a
that's good. You haven't been indoctrinated into complete and total theoretical nonsense.
So everything that I think about the scientific world, I don't listen to scientists that much. I listen to basic stuff, like vitamins are good for you. I get that. But when it comes to things bigger, like gravity, what is gravity? To me, it just makes sense that gravity is like magnetism, right? The further away you get from ground, the weaker it gets. But, we can jump up, but we have to come back down because we have a magnetic charge.
Well, you're very close. You're very, very close. So if you ask Neil deGrasse Tyson, what is gravity? Somebody asked him on a live radio show and he goes, we don't know, right. we don't know what it is. We can describe it. We can theorize it. We can write equations about it, but we don't know. That's what he says. Right. And then when you realize what gravity is, they say, well, did you know that space is 96% dark matter and dark energy, which accounts for all the gravity that their gravitational experiment doesn't work? It doesn't work. And they go, we've never seen it. We've never measured it, but it has to be there. Otherwise gravity doesn't work. Other option, gravity doesn't work. Okay. The only forces in this world are electricity and magnetism. Right. There's plenty of people doing research into that. And that is a fact. Think about a maglev train. Is it an anti-gravitic train or is it a maglev train? Okay. It's using the forces of electricity and magnetism, which are brother and sister, together. Our world is a giant free energy system. The sun and the moon are the cathode and anode of the system. The land is the salt bridge and the salt water carries the current. And it creates free energy. Our Earth has a testable, measurable, scientifically provable negative charge to it. The sky, the dome, the ionosphere, whatever you want to call it, has a positive charge. So here's our battery system. Okay. And that negative charge of the Earth is not moving at all. It doesn't move. So when you come up off the Earth, there's voltage in the air, and that negative charge attracts and negatively charged things to it. It's a dielectric plane. I think that's what they call it. And so when you're a meter in the air, there's 100 volts of electricity, 2 meters, 200 volts, 3 meters, 300 volts, and it just keeps on going up. There's all of this free energy in the air. If you just hang a wire in the air from altitude, it harvests energy. Okay. If you look at lots of the cables that are going across the country, the high tension cables, they're not transmitting energy. They're harvesting energy. It's all a friggin' lie. It's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. Okay. So that chart says, hey, down is this way, right? Point down right now. Point down. Okay. Point down. We're both pointing down. If you were in Australia, would you be going like this? No. Okay. Down is down for everybody. Up is up for everybody. Left and right, forward and backwards are relative to your position. Okay. Your forward is my backwards, the way we're looking at each other right now. Okay. Yeah. So after that, and they say gravity is a weak force. Well, this electrostatic charge of the earth is a weak force. It just says, hey, down is this way. So now in my hand, I'm holding a helium balloon, a bunch of marbles, a bunch of ping pong balls, and I'm holding them 10 feet above a swimming pool. And if I open my hand, the balloon is going to go up because the air is more dense and it's putting a hydrostatic thrust, I think it's called. And that air is just looking for its equilibrium. So it goes up, the helium. The rocks, the marbles and the ping pong balls will fall through the air because they're more dense in the air. The ping pong balls will sit on top of the water because they're less dense, and the marbles will go to the bottom of the water because they're more dense. Buoyancy and density sort everything else out. Okay. Now there's debate going on in the flat Earth community that there doesn't have to be a charge. You say there's a charge. Well, there is a charge. It's testable, measurable, scientifically provable. That things just go down because of weight. I'm like, well, what if I was holding all that stuff and I snapped my fingers and the entire Earth disappeared? How would they know which way would down would be, right? If the entire Earth disappeared and we're just space, okay? Right. Which way would buoyancy and density work? Buoyancy and density do all the work to sort everything else out, but it's the electric field that does it. Here's you ever see one of these where they electrify this little tinfoil triangle and they put a negative charge in it and it lifts off the ground because it's defying electrostatic charge of the earth. We've done one of our guys, it's channel Good Times for All. He did an experiment where he had a helium balloon with a string going to I think he had just like a metal button, that you put on your chest. And it had a wire connected to it. And the helium balloon was just to the point where it was floating like 2 inches off the ground. That wire went to a Van de Graaff generator, one of those balls that creates a static charge. You crank it up. And so he introduced a higher negative charge into the button, and it got heavier and went down. He didn't change the gravity. He changed the electric potential of that thing. The electric potential of you is much more than the electric potential of a feather.
Right.
So and just jumping way out, secret space program. I don't believe in the secret space program. I believe in the secret propulsion program. They're using this advanced technology to use machines, but they don't want us to have that, because if we had access to free energy and electrostatic, travel, engines, we could go anywhere and we could expose what this place is. They don't want us that. They don't want us having dirigible ships. They demonized nitrogen with the Hindenburg, related it to the neutron bomb or nitrogen bomb. And then they made a helium shortage because NASA controls all the helium in the world. They don't want you having access to free travel, free energy. This is all about control and controlling our minds. And they do it by trapping us in a ball, putting on the news. They steer your mind with the news, north, east, west, south. They're steering you with the news.
Okay. Yeah, I don't believe hardly anything I see on the news anymore. So I'm with you. Yeah. I know there's some kind of agenda. I don't like to think about what it is. But
so let me ask you a question. This is a shot in Bulgaria.
Yes.
Are you falling over backwards? The sun is staying still and you're on a ball falling over backwards, or that light in the sky whatever it is moving away from you. Which one?
Well,
are you falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, and a distant sun 93 million miles away is just moving away from you?
Yeah, in the video, it looks like the sun is moving away from me.
And why would you think anything different other than a liar in a bow tie telling you that?
It's a good question, Dave.
Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because you're a trusting person. You're a good person. And you believe when somebody tells you something, you want to believe them, right? And so you've traded in your common sense, your God-given common sense, for nonsense. Because
let me ask, though,
what's that?
If the sun's going away from me,
yeah.
Why does it look like it's going down if it's not from the curvature of the earth?
Okay, you ready? I'm going to show you. But look at this one. And think of the words that the Beatles sang. The fool on the hill sees the sun going down, but the eyes in his head see the world spinning round. All right, so now I'm going to show you a lesson in perspective. Follow along. It's really easy. Okay. Excuse me. I'm just, it's early in the morning. I'm losing my voice already. I've got 5 more interviews today. All right. Ready? Are you ready?
Yep.
It's a model. This is my flat earth kitchen. It's dark. Here's my kitchen counter. This line here, is it level?
Yes.
It is. And I proved it level in the video. And I'm moving my sun along the line. And I'm videoing it from the height of the sun, a celestial point of view. This here can be mountains or just clouds, opaque clouds. I never go below it, right? So now I'm going to show you the same thing from the other side of the counter from a terrestrial point of view. I have a camera on the counter. If I showed you this first, would this line, if I said, is this level or is this sloped, what would you say? It looks sloped, right?
It looks sloped, yeah.
And is it going below this opaque thing? You would say, yeah, it's going below it.
It looks like it.
Now look at it. I'm zooming in. It's almost straight down. This is a level line. This thing never goes below it. But this now looks like the horizon. Now watch this. This is a real sunset. And this is my showing you how perspective works. Look, it's not going by this horizon. It's going by, what's this horizon here? This could be mountains that you can't see, or just the atmospheric deck of opacity, where the atmosphere just builds up and becomes opaque. But this distance between the sun, this line, and the bottom line, you can't even see that because it compresses in the atmosphere. I've zoomed in on it so you can see it. Do you understand what you just saw?
Yeah, I do completely.
So
it's blowing my mind, but I'm having a hard time with
put your adult mind on, let go of your ball, realize that everything that you think is a lie, and start over. It's the easiest way. Let it all go and go outside today and say, hey, am I spinning in 4 different directions at once? I'm spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, faster than sound. I'm orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, speeding up and slowing down over the air. I am shooting after the sun at over 500,000 miles per hour. Okay. And that entire system's moving sideways at over 1 million miles per hour. Let me just put that into perspective for you. You ready? This is the hypersonic sled. Watch it. I wish I had sound on this because it's amazing. Watch it. Mach 8.6. Did you see it? Watch it again. It's going to go by. Mach 8.6. You have to believe, okay? You have to believe that we are orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that, and that we are chasing the sun 90 times faster than that, okay? In these circular orbits spiraling out of control, but we have lakes that look like this.
Yeah. And that's because of gravity?
No, it's because we're not moving. Here's what I want you to do. Get a dinner plate, put it on your table, and fill it with water to the edge. And every day, look at the next couple hours, whatever. Look at the plate. Don't touch it. That doesn't have a rip on it. It'll be glass. Now I want you to get in a car with somebody, find the straightest, smoothest possible road ever, go 100 miles an hour in a straight line, and hold the dinner plate and fill it with water. One, that's going to be very difficult, just from the tiny little motions. And then if that car starts taking the slightest turn, what's going to happen to that water? It's going to slosh.
Yeah.
We're going 90 times faster and 10 times faster in 2 different directions than that hypersonic sled. And we have lakes that look like this. Okay. This is where you need to put on your adult brain and go, my entire life is a lie. It matters. Why are they lying about this? This is huge. Why are they lying? That was my next.
Why would they lie?
Yeah. So why would they lie? And the answer is to hide free energy, to hide the creator, to hide your spirituality, to hide more land, to hide more resources, to hide knowledge about Antarctica, to hide that you are at the center of the universe, hide that you are special, hide that you have power, hide that nobody has power over you, to make you stop dreaming. Everything you have in your life is from you manifesting it into your life. Your thoughts bring everything you have into your life in, because you thought of something, you're like, I like that, you're in tune, it comes into your life, you bring it in. Right. If they could limit your thoughts, if they can keep you in fear, if they can make you believe that there's running out of food, running out of water, there's global warming, that nuclear Kim Jong-un is going to blow us up. So the official story is that if they can make you believe all of that stuff, back in the plane, you're now living in fear. You're no longer able to manifest in the power that you should have. And then if you live on a ball, that's all there is. The plane that was supposed to hit, Truman. You can't become an explorer. Building 7, you've limited your ability to bring it in things into your life. They're completely controlling your mind. And the official story there is what you're even able to imagine. At such a steep angle, imagination is what creates the world. Swallowed the entire airplane. Completely controlled us. They're controlling our minds, because our minds are creating the world. If everybody listened to this today, and tomorrow they go, you know what? People don't the government. I'm no longer listening to them. It's over. It's over the same day, because they lose all their power. Building 7, we are playing in their prison by that fake airplane. Right? It's a prison for your mind. It's to stop you from CNN and creating BBC, our world, from living this, the living the creation that we are, the reason that we're here to the fullest. Right? A lot of people, they got their job, they work, 9 to 5, even more. They commute 2 hours a day, whatever. And then on the weekends, stories, sporting events, sports are over. The whole city block, and they drink some beers and they go back. And then luckily, if they live long enough to retire and enjoy money, if they could save it, if it's not all stolen from them, this is not the way life should be. These are questions that you're not allowed to ask. And they don't want us to know that it can be different. These are questions that they have us in a prison for their mind. They have us playing on their Monopoly board. You have a Monopoly game? Yep. Go read the directions. What does it say? Bunch of crazy when you run out, the bank runs out of money. The bank runs out of money. What are you supposed to do? Space aliens that did it. This is just get some pieces of paper and write some more money on it.
Just make more money.
Yeah. We're playing on their Monopoly board, and that's how they control us. What is the value of a $50 bill right now to you? The official story is the way they figured it out. It's good to start a fire. That's something useful you can do with it. The building. I can trade it for some gas for my actual car, strong, and they'll take it because it's all a aluminum airplane. Okay, we're playing with their fake money. We need to get off their Monopoly board and get into privacy cryptocurrencies, unless somebody can come up with something better. Privacy cryptocurrencies are the pops through the other side, going through the central core columns, which are another steel reinforced. We don't need a middleman. We don't need a bank somehow to be the middleman and take money and charge and everything. And if I wanted to pay you in Pirate Chain right now or Monero, shows you that I can do it instantaneously, but there's no record of it. It's just like if I handed you $50 bill, flew down to the street, nobody knows, and landed right next to an FBI agent. If we did that, they're done. Story. Everything crashes. Everything's over, and then people wake up to the true creation. Anyone that believes where they are, what they are, story of the power of the mind, and the reason that they're here. This whole world would be amazing. Will be amazing. Ignorant.
Yes, it will. And I'm with you on 99%.
If you want to find all of the information on 9/11 and all of these other,
I do think that we need to quit playing along. But the thing is, we're kind of trapped in this game because we can say we want to stop playing along, but the rest of the world's going to keep playing, and then we're left penniless and destitute.
So that's why the censorship is so strong right now. Yeah. And if you think that way, that you're going to pull that into your life. If everyone, let's say your show goes viral tonight and 10 billion people watch it in America. Okay. 10 billion. That means a lot of people watch it twice. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone, but 10 people in the world. Sorry. A lot of people watch it twice. They go, that Dave Weiss, he's pretty, let's screw the government. I'm done with them. I'm no longer going to be afraid of them. It's over. Done. It's over. So we need to get this message out. With all of the craziness going on in the world, this is the message. This is how they infected our minds. Don't say that this is. This is how they infected our minds. Okay? It's all done with cartoons. We're living like children and their Monopoly board, playing on their Monopoly board in a ball. Okay? It's ridiculous. There's so much more than this.
You know,
right?
I'm glad you brought up cartoons and animations, because watching the rover, okay, out there on Mars, which we haven't even touched.
Oh boy.
Planet. You know,
go ahead.
There was a video where it looked like there was a fly that landed on it.
Yeah, probably. You know why?
And when I think it was when Elon Musk sent up SpaceX and the Dragon was out there and it was going, and they did a zoom in, it looked like a field mouse ran out onto the,
I can explain that perfectly.
Okay, how?
It was filmed here on Earth.
Those are just fake, right? Fake videos.
No, it's filmed here on Earth. There is no Mars. Okay, there are no planets. They used to be called wandering stars, right? But you take today's optics, you zoom in on Mars, this is what you see. Okay, that's not what NASA. Excuse me. That's not what NASA shows us. This is what we see. When you zoom in on stars, they look completely different than what they show us. Here's the star Sirius. Does that look like a burning ball? 9 million billions of miles away. Here's the star Arcturus. This one is one of my favorites because it's really easy to focus in on. Right?
Yeah. Here's
a bunch of other stars. This is not what NASA shows us. Our optics have outgrown their lies. Okay.
Well, they do look round though.
So what? The balls on a pool table look round. Does that mean the pool table's round? Right? And they look round. Does that mean that they're round? I mean, is the moon round? Are these all spheres? Is that one a sphere? Is this one a sphere?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It looks like it, but you can't touch it or measure it, but I can. It's flat. Okay. So anything that you see in the sky, you can't tell what shape it is. You can't tell how far it is. You can't tell how big it is unless you can go there and touch it. Okay. And your mind does some serious tricks on you. For example, are these tables the same width and dimension?
No.
They absolutely are. And your mind can't fix it. Okay.
Damn it.
No matter how long you look at this, you will not be able to make those look the same size to you.
Well, it don't make sense, but okay.
It's how your mind works. Unless you can touch it and measure it yourself. Right? Watch it again. Watch it again. All right.
Man.
They're the same width. They're the same dimensions. And you can't make sense of it in your head. That's because you're stupid. No. Okay.
Right. That's because I'm dumb.
If you're not stupid.
No, I get perspectives and optics. I get it.
Yeah.
But it just I don't know. Okay. There's no planets. There's no stars.
Well,
right?
there's lights. They're here within our firmament. So let's talk about stars and how they're completely impossible to see. All right.
Yeah. Dig in on stars and the firmament. And
and again, these are things that are above. I can't tell you what the stars are. I can't tell you how far they are. I can't tell you what they do. I can't tell you their purpose. I can't tell you anything other than they never move. We're moving 4.5 billion miles every year in one direction, let alone all the other directions. But you go out tonight, look at the stars. Next year, same night, same time, look at the stars. In 100 years, look at the stars, same time, same night. They're in the exact same position. How is that possible? It's impossible. Okay. Impossible. All right. Impossible. So let's talk about the size of the things that we can see. Now, I'm going to throw a lot of numbers out here. Easy. This isn't even hard math. So when we look at the sun, if the sun was right close to the earth, it would fill the entire sky. Move it away, It gets smaller. Why does it get smaller?
It's further away.
Absolutely. Perspective makes it smaller. So if we had the sun, which they say is a big, one of those big yoga balls, and we're like a BB next to that yoga ball. If it was just above the clouds, the height of the clouds, it would fill your entire sky. Move it 93 million miles away, it becomes the size of a coin held at arm's length. You with me? Easy.
Yep.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So there's a thing called the angular resolution limits of your eyes. Your eyes can only see something so small. If I held a penny right here, you can see it. But if I moved it 100 yards that way, you couldn't see it. Or I forget the distance that you can't see a penny. Just because when the angular size, like my hand is 180 degrees right now to you, and now it's probably only 10, 20 degrees. I keep going. It's going to get smaller and smaller. It gets to a point when it's below 0.2 degrees, 0.2 degrees, something like that. It's too small for your eye to resolve. Scientifically provable. Your eye can't resolve things that small. Like if I held a human hair on the other side of the room, you probably couldn't see it. Okay. Because its angular size is too small. So the sun went from the entire sky, gigantic, to the size of a coin held at arm's length just by moving it 1 astronomical unit away, 93 million miles. That's where they tell us the sun is. Okay. If I doubled the distance, could you see it?
No.
Well, some people say that you can. It has to go 3 times the distance. Okay. So if we went 3 times the distance, they tell us the sun is 8 light minutes away. It takes the light for the sun 8 minutes to get to us. Okay. So if we went 3 times as far, that's like 25, I'm rounding, 24 minutes. Okay.
Right.
If I went 20, what was the number? I'm forgetting my numbers. If I made it 24 times as far. Okay. I think that's 3 light days. So we're giving the globe every benefit. At 24 times the distance, it is far beyond our ability to see. You with me?
Yep.
It's too small. So at 3 light days away, you can't see it. Interesting. So now let's talk about the star Polaris. Polaris is, they say, 46 times bigger than the sun. Okay. So we have to make it 46 times farther than those 3 light days to know that we couldn't see it. You with me?
Yeah.
So round up to 48, which is 2 days. 2 days times 3 light hours is 6 light days. Okay.
Okay.
So if Polaris was 6 light days away, we have just proven that you cannot see it. It's 433 light years away. You can't even fathom what that is.
That's a big ass star, right?
Well, no, it does. And then the globe will go, well, the light's been traveling for, billions of years. It's not there. No, you can't see it because the light gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer as it spreads out. As light spreads out, it's getting spread out. So it's geometrically progressing dimmer and dimmer. Every time you double the distance to a light, it's 1/4 of the brightness.
Right.
So it would have to be, you can't even calculate the brightness. Okay. And at 6 light days away, you couldn't see it. And they're telling us it's 433 light years away. Right. Wipe that off and forget about all of that. The closest star other than our sun in the Helios nonsensical model is 25 trillion miles away. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I put you in a rocket ship heading you right at that sun, and we're going to move you at a mile a second. That's pretty fast. You've never gone a mile a second.
Right.
A mile a second, right? That's pretty fast. So if you traveled for 1 trillion seconds, you've gone 1 trillion miles.
Right.
So you're 1/25th of the way to the star. You're making progress. Okay. How long in time is 1 trillion seconds? Want to guess?
Centuries, probably.
31,000 years.
Wow.
So if you're traveling at 1 mile per second in 31,000 years, you're 1/25th of the way to the closest star. And the other stars are so much farther away, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to travel 31,000 years, 25 times at that speed to get to this star. And you think that our human eye can see it when you can't see a penny at 100 yards away?
Right.
Give me a break.
The whole idea of light traveling, in a beam doesn't make a whole world of sense to me anyway. Because if we have a flashlight and I turn it on and, you're 5 miles down the road, you won't eventually see that flashlight.
Right. The inverse square law of light. If I'm a mile down the road and I can see it, well, if I'm 2 miles down the road, it's going to be a quarter of the brightness.
Yeah, and it's not going to travel to you. You know what I mean? That light's not going to keep
you're
coming.
not going to see it because the light is spreading out and it doesn't get more intense. It's not being collected. It's spreading out geometrically, right? It's spreading out. And the same thing was when we look at the moon. Okay, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, clear night, full moon, you can read by it, right? Mm-hmm. You can drive with the lights off. The moon's light up. It casts shadows on the ground. But then they show us these astronauts on the moon, the lit side of the moon, and it's a dusty, dirty ball. Uh-huh. Does this look like this light is bouncing off the moon and looks like this when we get back here on Earth? And if you use the inverse square law of light, when you're 100 miles from the moon, it should be brighter than the sun for us to be able to see it this bright. The brighter than the sun that we see here on Earth, this should be brighter. The moon should be brighter for this guy standing here, or even somebody just orbiting the moon. Okay. It's pseudoscience nonsense. It's complete idiocy. I'm offering 100 Bitcoins if anybody can come up with anything dumber than the globe model. There's nothing.
100
There's
Bitcoin.
nothing. 100 Bitcoins, anything dumber. Okay. Okay. Anything dumber. There's nothing dumber. I keep trying to think of something dumber, like just make something up, and I can't. Like eating Tide Pods, and I don't know. That's not dumber than the heliocentric model.
What is the moon then? And what controls the tides of the ocean when they come in and out? And I know we're down to the wire here.
We are down to the wire. So let me show you my app. Okay, so this is my app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun Moon and Zodiac Clock app. Actually, this is the Friend Finder, which we're just installing now. But the app shows you how the sun and the moon work. You see the sun is trailing behind the moon, and the sun will lap the moon once every 28 days. What is the moon? Biggest mystery on Earth. I personally think that it's here to deliver and remove souls. Okay. Whoa,
really?
Bet you didn't expect that.
I did not expect that.
So on the app, every day there's a featured video, bottom left. Tap on that video, up comes a video. And here's the challenge I have for people is, if you think this is stupid, take the Flat Earth app challenge. Watch the video every day for 2 weeks. And if you think the Earth is a globe after that, send me one proof and you win 3 Bitcoins. Okay.
Wow.
But before you do that, you have to hit the question mark. And when you hit that, up comes playlists. Hey, what about eclipses? What about seasons? What about Southern Star and Moon rotation? If you click, I'll click that one, and up comes, you hit open YouTube, and up comes a playlist that they don't want you to see, that they won't serve you. They're on just like your video. They're not going to recommend it to anybody, or maybe they will. Sometimes they do, but these are videos that they don't want you to see. And so this app will answer all of the questions that you have, right? This app, and people are like, oh, this is it. He's selling an app. It's $3. It's a one-time charge. You can subscribe for 99 cents, but you don't have to. There's no ad. Just exit out when it says, would you like to subscribe? Say no. Okay. It has tons of other resources. It has books, 16 emergency landings that prove flat Earth. I just hit it. So that, where do we go here? It has all sorts of resources. The Iron Republic, another great one about people that live beyond Antarctica, an advanced civilization that left here in the 1600s because of tyranny. Imagine that, tyranny. It has images to share with other people. I just loaded the app, so it's loading for the first time, right? Like, do you think that we went to the moon in that? Okay. And when people say, what about Antarctica? How do they guard Antarctica? This is how they guard Antarctica right here, with all of these islands. These are the islands that are controlled by the crown, and this is where they all have military bases on them. That's how they guard Antarctica, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask 2 questions. I know we got like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's real quick. Why do the tides move in and out? And what are aliens?
Well, extraterrestrials are people that come from the extra territory. Now, aliens, you might think that they're demons, non-physical, different dimensions. I don't know. There's nothing to do with flat Earth.
Okay.
You know, extraterrestrials come from the outer space, from just a couple thousand miles away. Maybe, you know, that's it. They're here on the Earth plane. They probably speak English. Okay. Read the Iron Republic. Download the video or just watch it on YouTube. The Iron Republic on the channel is called The Morgile. And that'll get you going. Get the app. It's the highest rated app in the App Store and the Google Play Store. Everyone loves it. It's the #1 rated app. It's amazing.
Okay.
And it's $3, and that's it. You're buying me a half of a beer, and just read the reviews. You know, don't even buy the app. Don't buy the app. Go to the App Store and just read the reviews. Okay. You'll lose the respect of your friends and family because you'll become a flat earther. All right. That's my recommendation. If you think I'm stupid, don't buy the app. Just go read the reviews.
I think you're far from stupid.
All right.
And this is some pretty compelling evidence here. And I can't wait to share it. I can't wait to see if I can convince my wife to sit down and watch this.
You know, here's the thing. Get the app with your wife and say, hey, listen, this is some crazy shit. But if you love me and you just watch the video every day, I do short videos during the week. Some of them are just a minute long, 2 minutes. You know, I try to do short ones and then longer ones on the weekend. Just each day, watch the video. It's like a book club. And then you guys, when you have dinner or whatever, whenever you're hanging out, discuss the video. That's it. And so, you know what? Today's video didn't really do much for me. Okay, forget it. Wait till the next video. Hit the archive button next to it, because this is what happens. People are like, I don't want to wait till tomorrow. You hit the archive button. You have the last 3 years worth of videos organized by month. Okay. And if you hit that archive button, make sure you have food and water. Call your boss. You're not coming in for a week. Okay. And forget about sleeping, because that's over. Sleeping's for ballers.
All right. Hey, David, thank you so much for doing this.
All right, man.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, man.
The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. If you forget that ridiculously long name, it's by Blue Water Bay. Make sure you don't get the knockoff on the apps on the Google Play Store, because they have like a Flat Earth Society by the Ron Media Group. Don't send me emails telling me my app sucks, because my app doesn't suck. It's the highest rated app in the store. And you can find, if you forget all of this, just remember flatearthdave.com, flatearthdave.com. Find my podcast there, the Flat Earth Podcast, everything, flatearthdave.com. All right, man, thanks. I got to roll.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, Dave. Have a good one.
All right, see you. Bye-bye.